Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. So for today I just wanted to do a quick tutorial on a hopefully simple beach wave curl kind of look. So if you're interested in how I achieved this, stay tuned and I will show you. I completed this look using only 5 items. Item 1, a paddle brush. Item 2, a hair clip. Item 3, a heat protectant. I like Iron Shape 11 by Redken because it is both a protectant and has memory to help retain the curl. Item 4, a flat iron. Finally, item 5, a texture spray. This is going to help add airiness to your hair, adding movement and volume. I then separated my hair at the ear, clipping the top part out of my way. Spray on my Iron Shape 11 and brush it or comb it throughout that section just so that it gets evenly distributed. Then I will separate it at the back, down the center. And starting from the back, I'm just going to take a section, so starting at the root, I will clamp down, turn away from my face, grab my extra, pull slightly, and then unwrap it. And back upright again. So same thing, grab my extra, pull slightly, unwrap it, and here's my final trick for getting a really beachy look. Don't curl your ends, pull them straight. Curling the very bottom is what's going to give you a little bit more of a finished look, a little less natural, and a little more done up. And same thing, clamp, pull, undo, pull, undo, and straight. And I like to start from the back just so that I don't miss any hair. So if your hair is longer than mine, you might have to do more than just 2 wraps. Like I do 2 wraps per section. So there's 1 wrap, and there's 2 wraps, and then I go straight. If your hair is longer than mine, you may have to do more than 2. Next section. So with my amount of hair, I usually do about 3 sections or so. Once I've finished a section, I leave it alone. I don't touch them again until the very end. So there I did 3 since that piece was a little longer. For the last section, it's up to you if you want to go by your part or if you want to go by the middle and then move it to your part. What that's going to do is the section that you end up moving over is going to have more volume, and then your curls will end up going in different directions as well on the one side. So it'll give it a little bit more texture even. The other thing about the front or the top section, the last section, as you can kind of notice, I am curling every single piece away from my face. Now that is totally personal preference. I like to just do everything away from the face. I have found that on my own hair, when I've tried to do some pieces going away from the face and some pieces going toward the face, that they just didn't mesh nicely with my hair type, and I ended up with some weird like space. But it's totally up to you. If you want to do some going away from the face and some coming forward just to add even more texture, you can definitely do that. Go for it, try it. You never know, that might work better for you than doing what I'm doing. And a trick for adding some volume, do it up, a little more up, up. This one, there's a little bit more of a bump there, a little more volume. Okay, so that's step one. So next step, I like to let this cool down just like this without touching it for a few minutes, just so that it helps hold the shape some more. So while we're letting this cool, I'll just give you a few quick tips. So tip number one, if using a flat iron like myself, try not to keep it held in one spot for too long. You really want to keep it in motion. The reason being, one, you'll end up with that crease, and two, it's a lot safer for your hair. If you hold it in one place for too long, you do risk heat damaging your hair. Tip number two, as I mentioned already, let the hair cool before touching it at all. Especially if your hair doesn't typically like to hold onto a curl, you really don't want to touch it until it's all cooled down and you've let it just sit for a couple of minutes. Tip number three, if you do find that your hair doesn't hold a curl all that great and you want to use hairspray, by all means, I would suggest something a little more flexible and a little more touchable as opposed to something really, really strong hold, just because I find if it's too strong of a hold and it really kind of sets it in place too much, it's gonna take away from the lived-in natural beach look of it and look a little bit too done up. Tip number four, the best way to get used to that coordination of how to spin the flat iron, how to not let your hands get in the way, stuff like that, try it with the heat off. I know it's not always easy to find time to practice these things, but sometimes in the long run, that little bit of practice is gonna save you a lot of time in the end once you get so comfortable and so used to it that this style takes you maybe 10 minutes. Okay, so I would say that this is cooled down enough. So let's move on to the next step. You have a couple of options. If you have a wide tooth comb, for example, you can definitely use that if you want. However, I find with my hair and in my experience that using just my hands works the best to break this up. So I just kind of put my hand at the top and shake. And as I shake, I move my hand down slightly. Then I will just kind of lightly put my hands underneath and pull. And just kind of play with it until it looks the way you want it. Next step, once you've kind of played with it a little and broken those curls up, you're going to take your texture spray and just gently lift your hair up and spray it inside in the middle of your hair essentially, as well as kind of up in the root area to give you a little more volume if you need that. I like to spray it in pumps, spray a pump, spray a pump, spray a pump. That way I don't put too much product in one spot and I don't end up using too much product in the end. Play with it a little bit more and look at all the volume. And now this is typically when I would decide what side I want to put it on. All right, well that's it. Basically, it's as simple as that. It just takes a few quick steps and you can get some wavy, beachy hair. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Let me know what you do different or what kind of products you use. This is just a technique that I found works for me and works for a lot of my clients just because it is so quick and it's so easy. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns about hair, anything hair related, or about this look in particular, don't be shy. Please ask me in the comments below. If you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel as well as hit the little thumbs up button. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this video and I will see you in the next one.